Hey guys, welcome to another review. I just reviewed Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Fucking loved it. But I saw that movie days ago. This one I actually saw just today. I had a choice from Seeing Canada to go to early screening. It was either this or Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Could care less about Transformers, so Indiana Jones it is. Dial of Destiny. Finally got to check the movie out. Here are my thoughts. Indiana Jones, the fifth installment. This movie is directed by James Mangold, a phenomenal filmmaker. Not Steven Spielberg this time. James fucking Mangold. Can he let us all down? You're about to find out. The movie stars Harrison Ford, Mads Mikkelsen, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Boyd Holbrook, Antonio Banderas, and the return of John Rhys Davies, Saul himself. And the movie is about a very old Indiana Jones. Incredibly old Indiana Jones. Yeah, Kingdom Crystal Skull was about an old Indiana Jones. This is an older Indiana Jones. And he meets a girl who ends up being his goddaughter he never knew existed. And they team up together to find this dial that is being searched by this former Nazi who works for NASA. And the movie is about a race to get the dial and find out what this dial does. If you're a person with even a half a brain, you should know what the fuck this dial does. You don't even need to see the movie if you know what the hell the dial does. It's time travel. Anyways, the movie Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is supposed to be the send-off of Indiana Jones in the franchise. This is the third fucking ending. Last Crusade was supposed to be the ending, hence it's called Last Crusade. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was supposed to be the ending, because Indiana Jones gets married, has a son, has a family. The story's done. What the fuck else do we need? No, let's try it again. I guess third time is not at all the charm. Dial of Destiny is a bad movie. It is nowhere near as bad as it could have been, but it's still not very good. This movie could have been a fucking disaster. There are a couple times watching this movie, I thought it was going a certain direction. I'm like, if you fucking do that, you have officially killed Indiana Jones in the fucking worst way. You've ruined this character. You've poisoned this franchise. They didn't do that. They go a really stupid route, but it's a stupid route that you can live with. They don't destroy Indiana Jones completely. They still don't make him that great, though. Indiana Jones in this movie is a lot like Harrison Ford's Han Solo in The Force Awakens. Like, he's old, grouchy, he's divorced, and, problems with the son. And he's going on an adventure with a young girl who's better than him at everything. It reminds me of someone, right? It also kind of reminds me of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, an old man, lost the person that he cared about. Now he's on an adventure with a young girl who's better than him at everything. They really make Indiana Jones just like he has dementia or something. There's a lot of correcting of him, like, no, that's not right. Grandpa Jones, that's not right. I'm like, oh god, I hate that they made our hero like this old geezer. Yes, they give him a lot of action stunts. That's clearly not Harrison Ford doing them, but yeah, he does his stunts and he does like a couple savior moments, but this is not the Indiana Jones that we all grew up with and just love. Harrison Ford is trying his best, but it's nothing. It's nothing that you should praise. His performance is just kind of is there. He's milking it, and I can't even tell if this is Indiana Jones. Like, Harrison Ford's playing the same grouchy guy in like all his movies now, and just doesn't feel like Indiana Jones. It was like when I watched Force Awakens, I just didn't feel like Han Solo. It just felt like a grouchy Harrison Ford, and this one is just the same. It just feels like an old Harrison Ford. And I had similar vibes with Blade Runner 2049. I think his performance was a lot better in that movie because he does have some pretty emotional moments. And there are a lot of times like, okay, that does feel like Deckard. But that movie's just so good because the new characters they bring are just such great characters. And it's just such a well crafted and shot and told story that's just a great movie. Just I don't know. Harrison Ford's just playing these roles as just like grouchy old guy or something like that, and it's very sad to see because Harrison Ford is like one of my favorite actors, and it's I hate seeing him like this. Yeah, even in the new was it 1923 show, like he's just kind of a grouchy old man. That movie, Helen Mirren steals that show. But yeah, I was a little disappointed with Harrison Ford's performance. I was expecting a really badass Indiana Jones, but I'm like, well, the guy's like 80, so. The best part is the beginning. It's the beginning. I won't spoil what happens, but the beginning is really great. Even though the CGI is noticeable, but it's the best part of the movie. The fucking opening is a great opening. There is a lot of CGI in this movie, a lot, and it is very noticeable. This is one of the biggest budgeted movies too, and why does the CGI look so noticeable? The de-aging looks noticeable, the green screen and the CGI and even some of the action scenes with explosions, I can just tell it's all CGI. And I'm like, for a movie that's like $200-300 million, I shouldn't be noticing the visual effects, and I noticed all of it. I'm just like, did the whole budget go to Harrison Ford? Like, it was weird. I don't know what was happening. And then we got to talk about Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Like, everyone's talking about the controversy with her. I get it. She is not as insufferable as I thought she would be. She's still not a great character. I still didn't give a fucking shit about her character. There's a lot of great badass female characters in Indiana Jones. Like Marion from Raiders, awesome. Elsa Schneider from Last Crusade, fucking awesome. Kate Blanchett from Kid and Crystal Skull is wicked, great character. There's just a lot of better characters. I can tell they're trying to make her have her own spin-off or something. Like, they're trying so hard to make her almost like a female Indiana Jones. They don't make her a female Indiana Jones, but I can tell they're implying with that. Like, oh, look how much like she's Indiana Jones. She's snappy, quippy, she's smart. She knows a lot about history and archaeology. She's, I don't know. She just says a lot of cringy stuff. I can't blame that fully on Phoebe Waller-Bridge because the writing is doing that. So just a lot of cringy writing, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think she's a top. I never watched Fleabag, but I didn't even think she was all that great in this movie, and I didn't even think her chemistry with Harrison Ford was all that good. I feel like they just kind of tolerated each other. I don't know. A lot of bickering with them, and a lot of her like saying, "No, Indy, you're wrong," and I'm like, okay. I enjoyed Mads Mikkelsen. He was kind of a fun villain in the movie. Usually Indiana Jones villains are usually a lot of fun, like Belloc and Donovan and Kate Blanchett. There's a lot of great villains in the franchise, and Mads Mikkelsen is a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed him, and I could tell he had a lot of fun with the role, and Mads Mikkelsen can always play a villain. Like, he can play a villain in his damn sleep. Just Mads Mikkelsen knows what he's doing, so he was really good. He was probably him and Saul. Seeing John Rhys Davies as Saul again was a lot of fun. And I could tell, again, he was just happy to be back. And yeah, Mads Mikkelsen and John Rhys Davies were my two favorite things in the movie. And the opening. The opening was really good. Let's talk about James Mangold's direction. It's not that great. This guy is a fantastic action director, like what he did with the Wolverine and Logan, even Night and Day, Ford v Ferrari, 310 to Yuma. This guy knows quality action, quality filmmaking. I don't know what he was doing with this movie. Maybe he took it for a paycheck, or he just wanted to do an Indiana Jones movie. But the action wasn't exciting. It was so overbloated with CGI. And just, there was no soul or heart, or like, even an interesting style, because it felt like he was just trying to copy the previous Indiana Jones films but also just putting a lot of CGI and not putting his own take. Like, James Mangold is a great filmmaker, and I thought he'd probably put some of his style in this movie because he makes a lot of darker and grittier films, and I thought he'd make the movie more violent and more gritty and raw, and he doesn't do that at all. And I'm not saying that Indiana Jones isn't gritty and stuff, but like, I was expecting him to do something a little different, but he doesn't at all. He follows the formula of Indiana Jones, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's not really James Mangold's style. So I just didn't think this movie fit his direction style. Again, Spielberg, yes, or fuck man, even like a Chris Columbus or something, or Joe Johnston, like I can see them doing something like this, but not necessarily James Mangold. So I felt like he was not the right choice for this film. The writing was also deeply flawed, very cringy, and it does things to characters from the past I don't like. And the ending. Everyone's going to be talking about the fucking ending. The ending is going to probably leave, I would say 90% of people, leave people just feeling hollow and just like, that's how you end the Indiana Jones franchise? That's it? What a miserable way to end the movies. Like, Last Crusade ends them so brilliantly with all of them going into the sunset in the desert. Like, that's such a great way to end an action-adventure trilogy. And then when the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, it was still a happy ending. It was not a necessary movie, but the ending was nice. He gets married, and his son tries to pick up a hat, and he takes it from him and puts it on his head, and just basically them leaving, and like that's still a happy ending. This one is not a happy ending or a sad ending. It's just kind of an ending. It's just kind of like, the end, bye. And I'm like, that's it? Really? It just leaves you with this like hollow, underwhelming, I don't know, it left this emptiness for me. And that's just the movie in a nutshell. It's a very empty, kind of soulless movie, like almost every Disney live action remake. That's what happens when Disney does shit. It's just not, it doesn't have the heart and soul and the flair of the original films. And this one, it just isn't very good. It's not that exciting. It's not that funny. And there was maybe one or two action scenes that I really, really enjoyed. One of them was the beginning, and one of them was near the middle. But other than that, I was not invested with Indiana Jones and Helena. And I just wasn't invested with the story. And I didn't like the ending. And I was kind of rooting for the villain and stuff. So I don't know. I left feeling so empty and shallow and just hollow, and it's not a good movie. And no, it's not like woke or anything. I know a lot of people don't like that term and stuff. It's not about that. Like, I don't hate that term, but it's not woke. It's just underwhelming, unnecessary, and not enjoyable. And those are all things those words don't represent Indiana Jones. So if you put that in an Indiana Jones movie, that's a failure of a film. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I'm going 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, well, 3.5 out of 10. Hugely, I can't say disappointed because I was really excited for this movie. I just say like I'm disappointed that they made a sequel, and I'm disappointed that they just couldn't leave well enough alone. But, Disney, they want to make their money. I hope this movie bombs and it gets Disney to realize that, stop touching things from the past and make fucking new ideas. So yeah, on the comment section below, are you excited for the Dial of Destiny? And do you think the franchise should have ended at the 3rd one, the 4th one, or do you think this 5th one is needed? Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.